Hello, I'm Kaity Tong here in Middle Village, Queens, where they've suffered a whole lot of damage and a lot of it still has not been cleaned up, so it's still a danger zone. I'm live inside Juniper Valley Park, and I got to tell you, if you haven't been to this area, it's so pretty, but trust me, right now it's kind of bad. The Parks Department will eventually get to all the downed trees here in the parks, but right now clearing the streets and the sidewalks in front of people's homes, that's priority number one. The Parks Department and OEM say they are working just as hard as they can to get everything back to normal, but in the meantime, you do have to be kind of careful out here. Joining me now, Robert Holden, president of the Juniper Civic Association, and City Council member Elizabeth Crowley, who represents this district. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. Now, you were pretty vocal about how badly you thought the city handled the cleanup, especially targeting Mayor Bloomberg and the cops. Why is that?
Well, the night of the storm, we were left on our own in the area. Had no extra police. They didn't call a level 3 or 4 emergency. We had no extra cops for about 24 hours after the storm. And so the Long Island Expressway was closed, the Grand Central Parkway was closed. We had thousands of cars coming into our area with all down trees and wires. And it was a terrible, terrible night.
And you blame Mayor Bloomberg?
Well, I blame the NYPD. You can't blame Bloomberg for that. The NYPD is in charge. But the aftermath, there's still a lot of questions. When are our sidewalks going to be fixed? When are they removing the stumps? People can't get out of their homes.
Right, people are asking
You toured the area, you've seen it.
Yeah, what about you, Elizabeth? Do you think that criticism is fair?
Katie, I disagree with Bob Holden. I think that it was only 1 week ago, we have to remember, that we had this storm. A storm like we've never seen before. Middle Village, much of the city of New York. I think New Yorkers were challenged. The people of Middle Village were challenged. And the city and the community rose to the occasion. You know, the first priority was making sure people were safe. And it's really remarkable that more people weren't hurt.
So what do you think?
Well, if you say people are safe when they didn't answer the emergency calls until the next day, if you say it's safe when we had no extra cops, we had 5 cops on the streets in the entire precinct and they couldn't get to any real emergencies.
I walked from, I would say, one end of the worst devastation to the other end. I was on 69th Street in Middle Village by Juniper Park South, and I walked down to Woodhaven Boulevard. And in my course of walking down, and why I was walking was because you couldn't drive around, but there were emergency vehicles everywhere. The fire department was here, and they were here strong. And they were putting out fires. I mean, we had like a war zone here.
Yeah, I don't think you have any issue with the fire department.
No,
like last night at the town meeting, you gave them an A. You gave the cops
They got an A. And Elizabeth's avoiding. Did you see any police that night, Elizabeth?
NYPD, yeah. Listen, on any given evening, we have about 25 police officers patrolling the community.
Right.
And we did that evening, it was closer to 11 o'clock at night, get help from Brooklyn and other parts of the city, the Bronx as well, to come into Queens. But the devastation was throughout the city. It wasn't just Middle Village. It happened in other parts of
Queens. That's true.
And in Brooklyn. And I really think that the Office of Emergency Management
did a good job.
And with the Parks Department, the next day, most of my streets were open by midday for emergency vehicles. And
maybe your street wasn't.
Well, I don't think you went on 84th Street and 83rd Place and 80. I don't think so, because they were closed. I photographed.
They really do disagree. That's why they're sitting apart.
I'll give you the photographs, Elizabeth.
I couldn't even get them to sit together.
I was on there. I was on 83rd Street, and probably was where the heart of the devastation was. There were trees that were uprooted. They brought up sidewalks. They fell into the street. They, you know, were flown into homes and broke windows. There was a lot of destruction, physical destruction, and it was somewhat chaotic to even be on the block. I was there that morning with the battalion chief from the fire department. We were seeing what the damage really was, assessing the damage, and that afternoon there were fire trucks making sure that there were no trees blocking the street.
Okay, I'll give you
Fire department's good.
15 seconds.
I love them. Fire department, Con Ed was good. They were good. NYPD, they're not answering the questions.
I'm being wrapped up here.
Where's the mayor?
Where's the mayor? Where's the mayor? Where's the mayor? Okay, thank you both so much. Well, this will continue. See ya. Back to the studio.
I think it still is continuing, Kaity. Thank you very much for that.